listening to Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth on AFR Talk.
So did you cry last night? I did. Catherine was looking over at me, and we both believe it was very sweet. Did you hear what happened? Well, there was a wedding 50 years after the first wedding on Duck Dynasty. And just to tell you what the Robertson family did, Miss Kay desired to renew her vows on the 50th anniversary of her wedding to Phil. And to do this, to accomplish this on Duck Dynasty, they needed to bring in a diversion. Now, who is better than, for diversionary sake, than Cy? But Cy has a problem with executing a plan and not giving away that this was going to be a surprise, a place where Cy would take Miss Kay, out with Phil for ice cream while the entire family put together a wedding to honor them. Here is part of the exchange. Another thing I love about the show is the wives are in charge, and it's just the recognition that wives are smarter. And husbands, you know what I'm talking about. They just organize better. Here is Uncle Cy contacting Miss Kay about the diversion. Roll it.
All right, Si, you're going to call, okay, and you're going to say, I want to do something for you tomorrow. I want to take you on a trip down memory lane, maybe. You got to get them out of the house. Whatever you do not tell them what we're doing.
All right.
Think you can handle that?
Hey, it's a piece of cake. Hey, look, y'all forgot? Hey, I survived none, okay?
Hey, Si.
What you need?
Hey. What do y'all got planned for tomorrow?
We really didn't have any plans.
One little phone call? Hey, it's a piece of cake. Hey, look, we got a big surprise for you.
A surprise?
Hey, so long as it's chocolate, don't break out no vanilla.
I love surprises.
Got to spit on your hook. That's the secret.
Phil, hush.
What are we gonna do? It's our special day.
What is that?
We're about 5 minutes into this, and Cy starts to spill the beans.
I want to go out.
And I have to admit,
Well, I'm gonna take you out. Look here, they got a good ice cream place that just opened up here.
Huh?
I'm stunned that the man lasted that long.
Phil loves ice cream.
Tell him I don't do ice cream parties.
What are y'all doing? I can't talk to her and talk to y'all at the same time.
Say what?
Hey, I've got the whole thing under control, all right?
What'd you say?
If I hadn't have let on to Kay that there might be something going on,
One more time?
hey, the first thing she'd have thought was there was something going on.
Si, did you say something?
Hey, I've got her right where I want her.
Just tell them you're going to pick them up in the morning.
Okay? I'll pick you and Phil up in the morning.
What'd you say?
In your regular voice.
Hey, I'll pick y'all up in the morning.
Okay.
Hey, that's perfect.
Now you're gonna have to speak up. I can barely hear you.
Hey, bye.
What?
Hey, and wear a necklace.
Si, did you say?
All right.
Oh, man.
All right.
That went swimmingly.
It's interesting because I got to tell you, you're saying, well, Crane, did you cry at that? No. Where I started to cry was, and I have to read the line, you're not going to cry right now, are you? Well, I'm thinking of it. Miss Kay said, from the time I was 14 years old, I loved you. And speaking to her husband of 50 years, Phil Robertson, happy, happy, happy. We will be doing a recap every Thursday of Duck Dynasty, and I will post that clip up on the Facebook. Now, without further ado, let's go to a good friend and a man who is a part of the new media and the changing media and the growing media as opposed to the dinosaur media. His name is Jim Hoff, a.k.a. the Gateway Pundit. Welcome back, Jim. How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing great, Crane. It's great to be back with you.
It's great to be back with you, and I'm going to throw a curveball at my folks, but they can handle it. I want to go to cut number 7. Jim Hoff, I think you broke this, actually. You're the first one to really come out and document it, of what President Obama said about our founding and our history and comparing it to what's currently taking place and has taken place over in Egypt, and specifically the bloodshed of the Muslim Brotherhood. And here is just part of that. Roll it.
We recognize that change takes time, and that a process like this is never guaranteed. There are examples in recent history of countries that are transitioned out of a military government towards a democratic government, and it did not always go in a straight line, and the process was not always smooth. There are going to be false starts. There will be difficult days. America's democratic journey took us through some mighty struggles to perfect our union.
Jim, your thoughts?
Yeah, Crane. When I heard that, I shook my head and I was thinking, is he comparing this this Muslim Brotherhood uprising in Egypt to the history of the United States? It's a bit confusing to me. What we're seeing over there is violent radicals. They're not pushing democracy. They're pushing Sharia law, and they're angry that the military took over power from the Morsi government, and they're killing people and pushing armed vehicles off of bridges and attacking Christian churches and killing priests. And I don't recall any of that in America's history. So to me, it was just another insult and slap in the face to this great country. And to me, anyway, and this is debatable, but I just think once again it shows Obama's lack of knowledge of our American history.
Or the misinterpretation of that, and obviously that I oftentimes talk about, is it ignorance, is it delusion, is it a psychosis, and mainly in economic policies, but you can apply it to foreign policy, or is he just stupid? And it's a very hard thing to say, because I don't want to call somebody stupid, and obviously he's not stupid, but there is a filter in which he interprets American history not as the great liberator, but the great oppressor. And we saw that, as you covered in the Gateway Pundit, with his apology tour. Jim, it's frustrating.
Absolutely.
It's very frustrating to see that. And, we're only getting these stories about Christian persecution. We onenewsnow.com, great work. Absolutely, American Family News. We're really blessed here. But we're also really blessed with you, who, if I look back at the coverage of the most underreported story in arguably the world, it's the persecution of Christians in Islamic countries. And you can go general Middle East as well. Mm-hmm. And you've been all over
Crane,
that.
I think you're absolutely right. This could be the most underreported story in the world right now. And just today I put up another post, Crane, of a priest who was kidnapped in Syria by these rebels who were supporting some of these rebels. I'm not sure if we even know which groups were supporting and arming, but some Syrian rebels connected to Al-Qaeda kidnapped this Italian priest who had been working in the country for like 3 decades in this impoverished country, and they kidnapped him, and the news came out today that they had assassinated him. So very sad news, and won't make many headlines, but this is happening all over the Middle East, and it's just tragic.
Another underreported story, to say the least, is the violence that has grown out with black on white violence, and there's no other way to put it. And again, this is what happens in a politically correct society. I can't state that without going, there's no other way to report it, because number one, I don't want to look at people as colors. I think that's no hyphens for me, and I know you feel the same way. But to identify what's going on, especially in light of what is presented and highlighted by the mainstream media, and you've been covering this, doing a great job covering it. Jim, what's happening with some of these attacks that we are seeing?
Crane, and you're absolutely right. You have to be very careful when you report on these stories. And really, I just try to stick with the facts on this. Mm-hmm. I'm not putting my personal, judgment on it. The only judgment I have is that the media just won't report these these stories. I know in St. Louis we've had several, where I live, we've had several of these knockout attacks, and they were black gang members who attacked, innocent pedestrians walking around. At least one person was killed, an elderly man, here in St. Louis, and the media around here is just very afraid to report who are behind these attacks. And this is happening all across the country. I put up another story today, and I just do it because I believe people need to be aware, and we have a right to be aware. And it's not, the media would have us believe that incidents like the Trayvon killing is happening all over the country, and that just isn't the truth. If you look at the statistics, it's really the reverse, and it's just a shame that we can't address this problem without being labeled a racist.
And the people that hurt the most happen to be people of color living in minority neighborhoods where the greatest degree of violence is black-on-black crime. So it's not about the color of one's skin. It's just reporting the truth. And when you distort it, you don't address it. Because the problem is not color. It's out-of-wedlock birth, family breakdown, a whole lot of things we could say there. But it's not about somebody's color. And that's what we see more pronounced than ever, a idea to make it about race when it's about behavior. And something that we all know, that God created us uniquely, and we have red blood on the inside, and we're just doing the best we can with our shaped heads. But you're bringing us the truth, and it's tough to do that. You've also brought us truth. IRS and Benghazi, bringing us updates on those. What is the latest in the IRS scandal or Benghazi? You can pick it or do both.
Well, Crane, I put up this video yesterday, and it was Obama's former personal advisor, Reggie Love, who came out in the interview last month and admitted that during the bin Laden attack that night that he had been playing cards with Obama, and he quotes Obama saying, I just can't be down there the whole time. Well, I also looked up and found out that the U.S. forces, the SEALs, were only on the ground for 40 minutes. So it's just, we're getting more and more, a little more awareness of what Obama was doing that night, and it sounds like he was playing a lot of cards. And not paying attention to what was going on I'm sorry, this was over in bin Laden.
Yeah, right, bin Laden. But
Pakistan.
but it does speak to the fact of, do we still not know where the president was during those 8 hours? We don't.
Absolutely, right.
Jim Hoff, you are a treasure, my friend. You got to come on tomorrow and talk about where you're going. Okay?
That'll work.
Love you, brother. Thank you.
All
Take
right.
care. Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth. Live with honor in your life, compassion in your heart. Remember to always, always keep the faith in Jesus Christ. And know that God knows you. He loves you. You're unique, and you have these gifts. And remember, right where you're at, wherever you are, God knows you, loves you, and you're worth it. AFR Talk.